going to use what is called loose scumbling. So that's just working kind of in a circular motion, again working kind of light. It's almost as if you were scribbling, but it's intentional, so there's a bit of a difference. So this one's fairly loose, it's not tight together, and as you can see, there's lots of space within it, and there's a lot of white coming through still. It's not super dark. If you were using this technique to get like more shades in there, you might want to do it closer together, which you will see within the next drawing that we do. But this one gives you an idea of how you can kind of play around with that, and the pressure in which you include will make a difference as well. So for comparison's sake, I'm going to use the same color for this tight scumbling technique, and we can see some of the difference. So as you can see, it is fairly tight, and it is allowing for more color to end up in certain areas within the page. And again, you can play around with pressure to adjust some of that. So I'm doing lighter pressure on this side, but it's still fairly tight within what I'm doing. All right, and again, we are going to use scumbling technique on a round object. So this will allow us to get some shading in. So I'm going to start with kind of small scumbling, as if my light source was hitting on this edge. So I'm going to draw an arrow here where I want my light source to be. So I recommend that you do the same thing, just so you can get a better idea. And then we can move into kind of a bigger technique kind of throughout. But the overall idea is similar to the cross hatching. So the density in which our lines overlap create more of a shadow. Less lines we include, the lighter area we'll get. So for this one, you're going to show me loose stippling. I'm going to use black for this, just so it's easier for you to see. But ultimately, loose stippling is just your dots you're making. So again, this kind of comes back to your mark making technique. And the closer we put them together, the more concentrated that area is going to become. But again, this one is loose, so they've got some further apart, some a bit closer together. That's what I'm looking for. Because it's not going to be a super dark shadow or value that we're trying to create when we do it loose stippling, whereas when we get into tighter stippling, you will see the shadows that we can create with that. All right, so we're going to move into tight stippling. So unlike the loose stippling, our dots are going to be closer together. They might even somewhat overlap in some spots. And the whole purpose of this is, again, creating different values within our drawings. So this is an interesting technique because it can help provide you with some definition within some of your drawings as well. Like for instance, if you were doing like an animal's nose, for instance, like a dog or a cat, if you look really zoomed in on their nose, you can see almost like little dots or like little pores almost within their nose, and it provides it with a texture. So you could do this and then go back in and shade within it, and that will provide you with, again, another variation of tone. And you'd want to probably use the same color in which you are doing the stippling, or a similar like color, and then you can kind of spread them out a little bit, start to get different colors, and or I guess not colors but values within your stippling. So as you can see there, that's about getting close to the size of a quarter there, but you can see the darker or more concentrated area versus where it separates out.